All right, we're rolling, Em.
It's August.
August.
How do you
Back
feel
to
about August? Do you have
school.
a good feeling, a bad feeling, a
I have a
neutral
bad
feeling?
feeling about August because it always made me think I was going back to school.
Thank you. That's what I think.
Seriously, like I don't understand this month. I feel like people act like, "Oh, it's summertime," and in my head, it's like, "No, it's depressing because school's starting
Yeah,
again."
it's the twilight zone of like, oh, I'm supposed to be happy, but all I can feel is
Yeah,
imminent doom.
it's like the Sunday scaries, but for August.
Yeah.
For a month. And I feel bad because I have a lot of friends and family whose birthdays are in August. So I'm not trying to discount your excitement and happiness. It's just like, it's rough times because
But
it's still
also,
so hot and it feels like summer. And then you have to go to school.
yeah, I feel like in August, if you're doing anything for fun, it's because you have to cram it in now because you only have a few weeks left.
Right. And like, I shouldn't even be saying this because I'm spending like 2.5 weeks in Europe in August. I'm like having the best time. But in my head, I just revert to that like,
I do too. When you spend up until 18 years old
that's true.
hating August,
Every year.
yeah, it's, and I also have friends whose birthdays are in August, but it was like, even in my mind, secretly, I was like, oh, when it's because they were also late August. They were
Forget
like
it.
the 20s. And so I was like, ugh, the second it's your birthday, like, what are we even celebrating?
Like we're probably studying for a test.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Because our birthdays, that
Like
was the
fucking
beginning of
prime
summer.
time.
It's
Like
like
summer is starting and we can have a pool
everyone's
party to kick off the year.
everyone's excited. They're celebrating their birthday, but they're also celebrating their unadulterated joy for the next 3 months.
That's exactly right. We're free. There's freedom.
And then at like my friend Brandy's birthday, we'd be like, congratulations.
Are we okay? Like, do normal people feel this way?
I think only the mentally unwell, but
Oh, so most of us. Okay, got it. Well, I will say, I am not in great spirits today, so that might be a part of it because I
Why?
am not able to eat food for
oh, here we go.
36 hours, something like that.
If anyone
Um,
just listened to our episode
Yeah.
338, we were discussing this, but poor Christine's tummy and tushy have a doctor's appointment and she can't eat because of that.
Stinks. And I can't even eat the good flavors of like popsicles and like, I can't drink anything that's not like clear. So I got myself a Sprite.
The way that you scoffed at Sprite is the way I scoffed at my friend Brandy's birthday in August. You just did
August.
this. Like, I have never seen like one body make an entire eye roll, but you just did it. You're like, I got a Sprite. It's supposed to be fun, I guess.
Yeah, what a treat. God,
Well,
I'm a
what about,
demon.
I think San Pellegrinos are all clear, even the flavored ones.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the ones I have are like the blood orange and they're like kind of reddish and I'm not supposed
Oh,
to have anything
shit.
red because
I was literally going to suggest the blood orange
because those are my
ones.
favorite. And I literally
too.
have one in the fridge. I'm like so annoyed.
Oh
Anyway,
my gosh.
it's fine. It's first world problems, I'm
Well,
fine.
no one
I'm
wants
good.
anything up their butt,
No,
So
no,
like
well, some people do.
some people do, but not.
I would argue a lot of people do.
I would argue medically, no one does.
Medically, maybe not. Medically, probably not. Mhm.
So I think even though it's a first world problem, it is a universal fear.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm hopeful they will sedate me. Some places like don't really. I don't know. I mean, I
Oh,
think
Christine.
I think
I would
they
have.
will.
I would
know, but
call
after your
every
story-
place. Oh yeah, after my story. Look, after my story, I can't even get into my fucking vein situation currently because it's ongoing. But
God.
I do you know what I found out, which like wow just pisses me off, and like maybe it was based on location, but I'm reading it as the patriarchy, is my friend Tiana was in town and we were talking about I have really bad heartburn, as pretty much everyone on earth knows, and I have to get one of those like things where they like put it through your nose and down your throat, the camera.
Oh, an
thing.
endoscopy.
Yeah, and so I don't have to anytime soon. I look, after the veins in my heart, I'm like taking a goddamn break.
Yeah, forget it.
But eventually I have to do that, and I will actively avoid getting that done because it sounds miserable. And Tiana said, "Oh, my husband had to get that and he got sedated for it." But anyone else I know, who have all been women, never once even had sedation as an option. And so it just feels...
They definitely sedated me for mine in Cincinnati.
Really? Okay, Allison's gotten one. My mom's gotten one. My neighbor got one. One of my childhood friends got one.
I was
none of them were
out.
even sedated. It wasn't even an option. It was like, okay, we'll sit here and we're just going to shove it down your throat and tolerate it. And then
No, I definitely was sedated for that. So if that's any consolation, I mean...
Okay, good. Because for a second I was like, are they only giving poor, weak little men? Like, I was like, I just like really got so feminist all of a sudden. I was like, are you telling me?
So that's what it took, huh?
I was just like, why on earth is he getting sedation and nobody else is?
A lot of times, like, you can just, like, I've done this because I was so scared for my colonoscopy in Los Angeles that I said, like, I'd really like to be put under. And they were like, okay, we can add that to your chart, like that you'd like extra sedative.
Oh, anytime I can be sedated, I am.
Like, you should definitely say it before the appointment because my doctor put it in the chart and then they were like, don't worry.
Trust me, the second I walked into maybe getting my veins ripped out of my leg, the first thing I said was I would like to be put under.
Did they?
No, they don't. They don't do that for the procedure. Not just at that location, apparently.
Well, I think they should.
Me too.
No, well, obviously that too. But I think they should for an endoscopy if you ask for it.
That now that I know, well, that was what I was going to say next is now that I know that someone has been put under for that, there's no way I'm not being put under for that.
Absolutely.
No
I would never I would not do it again. I would never have done it if I had thought it was not unconscious experience.
Oh, well, then let me re-advise you on your on what you've already said about yourself anyway, but please definitely make sure you're getting sedated if you can.
Absolutely, always. Yes. Please always put me underneath.
OUT.
Yeah, out cold. So anyway, this is the August listeners episode. Clearly, we're bringing some really special energy to this one.
We have a lot of personal fiery grievances. First of all, it's August.
Indeed. And isn't it almost Leo it is Leo season, right?
Early August is Leo season.
Speaking of fiery is what I was trying to go for.
And your baby is a Leo?
No.
A Libra.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
October 1st.
I know, but you hear Leona, and I'm like, well, that would have been
I remember being pregnant and being like, oh, it's Leo season. Okay, I guess it's acceptable if she's born now. And then Blaze was like, no, because she'd be 2 months early. And I was like, oh, right. That part's not good. I don't want that part. So never mind.
Well,
let me grab my Sprite. I'm so sorry. I left it in my little mini fridge. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sorry.
By the way, anybody who is listening, we did trash August, but Leo season is my favorite goddamn season. I've never met a Leo I didn't like. And Leos are the people who, like, when I...
Sorry, I didn't have headphones on. What?
Oh, I wasn't talking to you. So that's interesting.
Sorry. I'll take them back off.
So I was saying that my favorite sign, I love a Libra. But my go-to favorite is always a Leo. Anytime I meet somebody, I never know their sign. Like, there's some people who can just look at someone and be like, you're a Taurus, aren't you? I can only do that for Leos. And
Interesting.
But I'll never guess you're a Leo.
Did just call my baby a Leo. So, like, maybe you're not as good as you think.
Well, I'm saying I've never actually, like, how people can say, you're a Taurus, aren't you? I've never been able to do that.
You've
but
only
with
nailed
Leos,
it with the Leo.
Well, I only have ever met people that ended up being Leos. Like, I can't just, like, guess something about a person. But anytime I've met somebody and I fucking loved them on sight, they always end up being a Leo. So I guess I should be able to ask if they're a Leo, but I also don't want to look like an idiot if I'm wrong.
That's true. And a Leo might tell you. That you
I love
like
a Leo.
I know.
I love a Leo.
I like a Leo too, but they're a little, I don't know. I'm a little afraid of them. I feel like with an Aries, I'm more like in tune with an Aries, and with a Leo, I feel a little more like intimidated, I guess is the right word.
They've got a bold personality,
a bold energy, and it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong.
It's a bold creative energy though, and I'm intimidated in a do I want to be you kind of thing.
Right. That's exactly it. It's like a good intimidation.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're 10 minutes in. Eva's not here. Can you tell? Because we're so off fucking track. But Eva sent us some stories, and she did say I should go first. So,
okay, cool.
Oh my lord.
I just saw it too.
First subject, a cowboy ghost for Christine. Thank you. This is from Lauren, she, her, hers. And it says, hey all, I hope it's not too late, but when you mentioned spooky experiences related to our childhoods, cool that we did that, don't remember, I immediately thought of Hell's House. Growing up, summers were spent visiting my great aunt Joni, who lived in a small Colorado town. Being kids, she let us do basically whatever we wanted, but the one rule was to never go to Hell's House, which was directly behind hers.
Ugh.
I mean, you and I, like, we hear that and we're like, okay, let's go to Hell's House.
I feel like if the second you fall asleep, Joni, I'm leaving.
Joni, we would never do that as we're like packing our bindle to move into Hell's House.
Pinky swear as I'm charging up the EMF detectors.
Pinky swear, Aunt Joni. We would never. Everything about that house seemed straight out of a horror movie. The doors leading inside had been removed, so it was easy to look into the house and see that the floor was covered in clothes, trash, old toys, and there were even pictures of a family strewn about.
Ugh.
Oh God, oh God, oh God.
Gross.
Despite no one living there and the house no longer having electricity, my Aunt Joni described seeing the house light up at night, hearing voices, and scratches covering the walls and doors. When we were really young and dumb, my cousin, siblings, and I would go to the house. Okay, you get it. She gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I was always scared to go in, my cousin Brandon wasn't. He and my sister would go in to see what they could find. And one day, Brandon brought home what was dubbed the demon doll.
Forget it. Brandon, come on, man.
That's me. And then Em's like, Christine, you broke the one rule, which is like, don't bring home any haunted dolls.
Well, I did that one year in high school.
That's right.
Oh, there was a go-to haunted place, the Slaughter Pen.
Yeah.
And I stole a few things from there, but the one year I stole a bike that truly just like came out of thin air. We'd never seen it before. And it was from like the 30s and it looked like it was brand new or something. So it made me think like a little ghost boy just appeared out of nowhere.
So you were like, oh, this little ghost boy's bike, I'll take it.
Yeah, I took it. I actually took it to college too. And
what's wrong with you?
And it was, to be fair, I didn't steal it from any living person. I know that. It was in the middle of a fucking cornfield and we were by ourselves, or so I thought. And then I ended up having to bring it back because it was so damaging spiritually.
Yeah,
so,
the ghost was probably like, that was my one and only like Christmas gift ever, and you took it.
I remember just standing in a field when I brought it back, just screaming, I'm sorry,
backing away. Did you ride it into the field like, I'm sorry, I'm coming?
I walked it out of shame.
As you should. I think you did the right thing.
All right, well, hopefully Brandon, maybe does the same thing at the end of the story.
Yeah, let's hope. It was a baby doll that was burnt to shit, and it looked like where it wasn't burnt, someone had written on it. The plastic on its head was warped to the point that Joni always described it as his horns. Oh, dear.
So wait, Joni is in on this now.
Joni's like, I mean, I told you not to, but now that you did, like,
I guess we got something to talk about, yeah.
Brandon brought this doll home and Joan wasn't having any of it. Okay. She told Brandon time and time again to get that thing out of her house, but Brandon always refused. He kept it with him 24/7 and even slept with it at night.
Ooh, I'm starting to wonder if Brandon has the doll or if the doll has Brandon.
Wow, that's a good one-liner. That being said, one morning Brandon woke up to find the doll wasn't in his bed anymore. Joni was less than pleased when Brandon insisted on checking to see if the doll went home to Hell's House.
Bye.
Sure enough, when we went back to the house, we found the doll placed neatly on the kitchen counter, staring at the back door as if it was expecting us. Even Brandon didn't want to go inside to get the doll. I don't know what scares me more, the idea of the doll getting up and walking back to the Hell House on its own, or something entering Joni's house to retrieve the doll. When Brandon finally grew the courage the following day to actually get the doll, it was gone, and we haven't seen it since. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God.
Over the years, there have been several paranormal investigators come to visit the house, catching EVPs of screaming and things being thrown around. Honestly, it's a wonder the house hasn't been condemned. Growing up in an incredibly superstitious family, I grew up with all kinds of ghost stories, but to experience that doll was a whole other thing. Anyways, I can't say enough how much I love the show and the fact that this podcast has given me life over the last couple of years, and I hope this story brings at least a fraction of the joy the podcast gives me. I'm probably worse at ending stories than I am at starting them, which says something. So that's it.
Oh.
And there's not even a punctuation, which I love.
Okay, just
kind of leave it.
Irish goodbye at her own.
Just
her own note.
Yeah, drop it.
Wow.
I don't like. What if Joni took it back? But Joni probably would have thrown it away. I feel like
if I were Joni in the scenario you're coming up with, where she brought the doll back, I would have grabbed it and just like thrown it into an open window.
You wouldn't have placed it like gently on the counter.
I wouldn't have gone in that house alone at night by myself.
Especially if you're so superstitious. Yeah. And I guess you wouldn't have thrown it away either. Maybe just like tossed it back in and been like, okay, bye.
Yeah. At the very least, I would have like left her on the porch of my own house or something, so she wasn't inside.
Just
like,
if you want to take her, away from the house. Yeah. That's creepy. I don't like that it also then disappeared afterward.
I also have so many questions for Joni. I'm like, when you moved in, was that house like that?
For
like,
real. We need more info from Joan.
For someone who's so superstitious, did you see that house and think, I'm going to move here anyway and just have that creep show next to me? Or do you know the origins and you watched it?
That's a great point.
You know?
And I love that, like, it's so interesting that paranormal investigators have been, which means it's like known enough.
Yeah.
Like it's well known enough. And nobody clearly lives there. I was
going to say, do people live there? That's why there's like clothes strewn about. Maybe there was like someone who's unhoused.
It said like the doors are missing and...
Yeah. Wow. I just don't like it. But I also, the slaughter pen also had things like strewn about that were personal objects. And it was so weird because it felt like you were...
creepy vibe of like they just up and left and you're like, why?
Oh, it felt apocalyptic. If you looked for the longest time, you couldn't get into the house. Now you really can't. They've officially boarded the house up. But when you look through the windows, the cabinets were still had like cat food from the 50s in there. It was
so creepy.
And like a microwave was still on the counter, and like cabinets were open as if someone had just like wiped all the food out into a bag or something. It's so eerie. Like they just had to bolt.
It is apocalyptic. It feels like zombie apocalypse. Like just make a run for it.
All right. Our next one is called A Haunted Doll Outed My Boyfriend. Okay, so the theme this month, folks, happens to be dolls, and
which is like one of our least favorite topics. In that we're scared of it.
Yes, ma'am. That's the truth. Okay, so let's just all buckle in as I'm coming down from an anxiety attack that I have to now read about dolls. Okay.
That was a quick one.
A haunted doll outed my boyfriend. Oh, God. Okay. This is from Alex G, who uses he, him, his pronouns. And the story goes, hello, and that's why I drink crew. And most importantly, lemon. Well, okay.
Correct.
My name is Alex, and my pronouns are he, him, his. I love that we reiterated that. I started listening to the podcast in January of last year, and I was instantly hooked. After trying to catch up on the podcast for a little over a year, I'm finally in the home stretch. I wanted to start off by saying thank you for all your hard work that goes into making the show. The show has brought me many distractions and many laughs throughout the course of the last year and a half, and I'm very thankful.
That's so nice.
I wanted to write in for the upcoming June, listeners episode.
LOL.
Because I have a story that is both paranormal and something related to pride, i.e. my boyfriend's coming out story.
Every month is Pride Month, so here we go. Even August, the shitty month of August. Just kidding. I'm sorry, August birthdays.
Poor August. Everyone's just crying right now. It's someone's August 1st birthday right now.
Oh my God, they were so excited for a birthday wish. Happy birthday to you. I'm so sorry.
I wish for you an extra month of summer vacation.
I do too.
So my boyfriend helps me write this, so I made sure to get his permission before sharing. And here we go. In January of 2019, I had been dating my current boyfriend of almost 4 years for a few months at the time. We were hanging out late one Sunday night because it was the night before Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and neither of us had to work the next day. Little did we both know that our night was going to end with a bathroom full of blood and emergency surgery.
What?
Alex.
The fuck?
Excellent writing, Alex.
I am on the edge of my seat.
My boyfriend and I just had a tonsillectomy. My boyfriend and I? No, my boyfriend. I thought it was like
a partner activity. Should I be getting my veins removed too?
Like a 2-for-1 deal or something at the hospital.
You want to come over Monday or tomorrow? We have a little butt camera action.
my butt is like the only thing that doesn't have an issue going on, so I'm gonna keep it that way.
For
Thank
now.
you. For now. My boyfriend had just had a tonsillectomy and had a pretty rough go of it in terms of his recovery. But
It's supposed to be a really hard thing for grown-ups to
for
get.
adults. Yeah. It's I had mine at 21 or something, and it rocked me. It sucked.
It sounds fucking terrible.
My boyfriend had just had his tonsillectomy, but he was 12 days in, and most people are back to normal after 14 days. Because of that, we decided to kick back and watch Bagel Bites, of course. We decided to watch him run around and yell at ghosts. The episode that we picked was the Island of Dolls episode, which happened to be the episode that featured our haunted doll friend named Harold. Oh my gosh. Harold the Doll is still one of my favorite episodes we ever did.
I'm sure it was mine too. I don't remember, but maybe I should
It was the
re-listen.
time in your old house and the EMF detector started freaking out when it got super spooky.
Ooh, that was creepy.
That was a creepy one for sure. As we're sitting and watching the show and completely out of nowhere, my boyfriend's incisions start to bleed profusely. Which led to him spitting up and vomiting copious amounts of blood.
Oh, God.
The panic started to set in when the bleeding wouldn't stop, and we decided that we had to call a surgeon and call the surgeon that performed the tonsillectomy to figure out what to do. Due to a gruesome photo of the amount of blood that had been collecting on my bathroom counter and floor, the surgeon suggested that we get to the ER immediately to prep him for emergency surgery. Oh my God. On the way to the hospital, my boyfriend was in such discomfort that he had continued vomiting blood out the window of my car on the highway.
Imagine being behind like, just heading home from a nice dinner at the Applebee's, splat. God, like imagine the horror.
Oh no. Yeah, that's like truly out of Final Destination.
Ooh, I just got chills just thinking about how like traumatizing that would be.
I'm just imagining that it's obviously like a minivan full of like at least 4 children holding ice cream cones.
Of course, like
coming
having
back from the fair.
Their birthday is August 1st, and they're like, "This is the best day ever."
And then all of a sudden, blood. You just hear like a sea of children screaming in the van.
It is Final Destination. You're right. Like so horrifying.
Well, fortunately, we made it to the hospital, no problem. This is where the pride element of the story comes into play. Great.
I'm glad we're proud in this moment.
I needed to stay with my boyfriend until his parents arrived at the hospital. The only problem was that his parents had been pretty vocally homophobic up to this point in regards to his older brother also being a member of the queer community. And that meant that my boyfriend wasn't out to his parents and I had yet to meet them.
Oh, no.
I had a pretty awkward run-in with his dad before leaving the hospital, anxiously awaiting the results of the surgery. After my boyfriend came out of surgery, which this time he'd fully recovered from, thank God, the
I can't
doctor
believe he had to have surgery. Like, that's really scary.
Especially like surgery on an open wound. I just
when
imagine
you've already
it's
had
double
it.
pain.
Yeah, it's like I already went through that.
The doctor told him that he had never seen anyone bleed so heavily after being so far along into their recovery. Everyone was convinced he did something against guidance to cause such a failure, but he repeated over and over that he was just drinking water when the bleeding started. More importantly, he was soon in a pinch where he had to come out to his parents to explain the nature of our relationship.
Oh, my Lord.
This ultimately led to a very awkward conversation with his mother where he felt the need to explain his bleeding tonsils was not related to some other sexual act.
I mean, I was thinking it. I wasn't going to say it, but when I wasn't thinking it until he said, "Oh, they thought he did something against medical guidance." And I was like, "What could he have done?" Oh, but apparently I believe that he was just drinking the water
I believe
and
he was just
watching
drinking-
ZB.
But wow, I didn't even think about that until I read it, where I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine like the horror of having to say,
And,
one, I'm gay, and 2, don't envision me doing this thing that I'm now putting in your mind by saying it at all.
And
Ugh.
sorry, I vomited blood all over your minivan. I didn't realize that was you behind me.
Right. Oh, gosh. Fast forward to last year when I was listening to the episode where Em covers Harold the doll, and in that episode they mention that multiple people had experienced vomiting blood after looking at the doll or seeing photos of it.
Wait, whoa, I don't remember that.
Me either. I am so sorry.
You should have listened to that episode before. Sorry.
I know. I instantly made the connection between that information and our indulgence into my Bagel Bite guilty pleasure back in 2019. That's when I realized that Harold the Doll essentially outed my boyfriend to his parents, and I knew that I needed to send this story in for the following June listeners episode.
Is that not the most modern day haunting activity? Like the ghost is like, it's not enough to make people vomit blood. I want to get I want to do more psychological damage.
Like,
you know?
It's not camp enough. I need to out you. Yeah.
I need to fucking ruin your relationship with, or at least strain your relationship with your parents. Now that is some deep psychological stuff.
Vomiting blood is a crazy way for Harold the Doll to be like, that'll do. You know?
Yeah. Everyone thinks you did something dirty.
I hope you enjoyed my story, even if it doesn't make it on the episode. Oh, surprise! My boyfriend's relationship with his parents is much better now, and he loves Lemon. Ugh, even though the show scares him too much to be a regular listener. And thank you to Eva for reading my email. If you like this story and we were able to make sense of my writing, I have more stories to share. One of them includes stories from my old job that was haunted by something that definitely didn't seem to be human and was described as a darkness that was darker than dark by multiple coworkers.
OMG.
But that's for another day, I guess. Cheers, Alex.
It doesn't seem very very queer friendly to out somebody at the emergency room. So I guess Harold's maybe not.
Not an ally.
Not an ally, precisely. Okay, so, oh no.
What?
I just scrolled and I was like, I literally almost with my mouth said, at least we're not talking about
no
PTD. PTD, if you don't know, stands for PEGGY.
The doll.
The doll. And it's the doll that causes all sorts of problems, has caused us many technological, electrical issues, and also caused our listeners many issues. So this is your warning.
Eva isn't even here to fix our tech issues if we have any.
I love that Eva's like, oh, how convenient. I actually have an appointment today.
Right, yeah.
Bye.
An appointment to sit on the couch and watch TV and not help with this one. And just a warning, if you are driving, I'm only saying it because a shocking amount of people who listen to our PTD episode or who have been around this doll in person have said that they ended up in car accidents. So
like nothing major. I mean, I will say we didn't cause as far as I know, it was only a couple little fender benders, but just be careful, okay?
Just be careful.
I love this first line. Okay, by the way, this is from Lee, she, her, and it says, "Hey guys, not sure if you read your emails."
No,
honestly,
we don't.
I should be offended, but you're correct. You're correct to worry and to assume.
It hurts that you were right.
It hurts, but it's true. Hey guys, not sure if you read your emails, but I just started listening to your podcast last week. 2 weeks ago, ? IDK time is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And I just listened to your episode about Peggy the doll, and I wanted to share.
Wow, you said the whole name. Jeez.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I was just feeling a little chaotic.
Okay.
As soon as Em started talking about the doll's story, I got a splitting headache and the vision in my right eye went all wonky and wrong.
Ooh.
I also have a cold and I started having a coughing fit while listening, which was normal. But then I tasted freaking blood.
Oh my God, are you Alex's boyfriend?
This is this is upsetting. It all immediately went away as soon as I paused the podcast to text my girlfriend about it. It came back when I turned the episode back on. Okay, so when you say girlfriendly, is this like a romantic partner and are you queer? Because maybe these dolls are just all not
homophobic
allies.
as shit.
Yeah, maybe they're all just homophobic. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying 2 for 2. They were all homophobic.
That means our whole podcast is fucking screwed. Okay. It came back when I turned the episode back on, and to make it all worse, the flashlight on my phone started flashing on and off. I'm working on a painting and the lighting in my room is too dark, so I was using my phone flashlight. I fucking swear my heart stopped out of pure fear and I had to skip through to the end of M's story, 3 crying emojis. As soon as I got to the end, my headache went away again, so I'm officially freaked out. Anyway, just thought I'd share. Love you guys, and I can't wait to be all caught up on the podcast. Lee.
Ooh, that got my geese all bumpy. That's
not not great.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't love it.
Also, my ego's a little shattered that people have to stop listening to me talk.
Okay, but don't be, because there are multiple like crying sad emojis, so
okay,
they're clearly devastated.
I'm glad the guilt is there.
The guilt is there.
But wow. Okay, so just like, I don't know. Hey, when we gave that PSA of be careful as we discuss her, proof in the pudding, someone started tasting blood immediately. So
And then paused it. So apparently you can pause it or skip forward.
yeah.
Apparently. Don't like, I'm not, that's not a guarantee, but that's what I've gathered.
Yeah, I don't know if you can pause the fender bender you might get into, but you know.
Oh, right. Good point. Maybe that'll go away once you pause. I don't know.
Well, I will say thank you, Eva, for not making me read PTD's name.
I love that she knew I will read it. You wouldn't.
And also, like, who the fuck do we think we are, Christine? Because we talk
Who
about
do we think we are for real?
what gives us the right? Because we talk about how goddamn dangerous she is. We're afraid to say her name. We have literally looked her in the eyes and talked to her at the Zach Bagans Museum.
I have zero.
That was the most chaotic evil I've ever done in my life.
Every time you say we don't say the name, I say the name. I can't help myself. It's like the Hell's House. Like I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to do it.
Oh,
I just want to see what happens.
I just can't believe for us to go, don't even think about it. And we've looked her in the eyes.
Yeah, we're like, you guys, you be really careful. Sign this waiver. Don't say her name. Anyway, let me just drive my car and shout about it using her full Christian name.
Well, I'm happy to say this name. This one we've actually already mentioned this episode, but this story is about Harold the doll. Oh, and then the rest of the subject line is I almost died. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Whoopsies.
We're always looking at PTD. Now it looks like Harold is causing
coming in hot.
More problems than we thought.
He wants the title. So
that's true.
This is from Madison. He uses she, her pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And Madison says, in all caps, okay, listen. Oh, I'm listening.
Fine.
I had an experience listening to an episode, and I am only on episode 87. RIP me, I have so much to catch up on. 86 is Harry the Doll. I just wanted to share my experience because I thought I was literally about to die. I had a McDonald's Coke. I'm at work. I work for a music academy, and we keep tea for our singers. So I was stocking the tea while listening to the episode. I had this really weird chest pain, so I went back to my desk to drink some Coke, thinking maybe it would help somehow, and it did not. The Coke literally sat in my throat and refused to go down.
Yeah.
Ew. I was literally choking and gasping for air.
Ew.
I was literally choking and gasping for air and trying to make it come back up. Ooh. I ran to the sink by the tea and tried so hard to spit it out, but it wouldn't come up. Oh, so it's like fully
Oh my God, you were like choking on it?
I was working alone and was terrified. I was about to pass out. I have never felt such immense pain in my throat and chest and have never experienced a drink getting stuck in my throat and just sitting there, but it was so fucking scary. I currently have a side pain now, and that's the end of it. That's the end of the email.
Are you currently still with us, friend?
I feel like
I feel like worried.
I feel like she was writing this as it was still stuck in her throat, and we've never gotten clarity on whether or not she actually swallowed the soda.
Good point. I feel like the singer came by for tea, and she's like, "Can't you see I'm literally drowning?" Like maybe it is like drowning, like, you know, when you like swallow water and you can't. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Also, it sounds like it like solidified in your throat or something. That's so creepy.
Yeah, I never heard of liquid getting like stuck in your throat. That's very alarming. I mean, I wonder if Harold was like trying to get her to throw up blood and just like couldn't pull it off.
Right.
You know?
Also, like that really elusive last sentence of I now have a side pain.
Yeah.
And then not even goodbye, nothing. Just that's all.
Yeah. The end? Like, just, no.
I have a side pain.
Talk about a cliffhanger. Oh, okay. Wow. What a doozy.
So good luck to you. I hope you're okay.
Yeah. Let us know how you doing. This is from Olivia, and it's called Laurel Canyon Haunting. It says, "Hey guys, my name is Olivia and I come from a stereotypical Los Angeles family." To me, I don't really know what that means. I feel like there's
vegan.
Maybe.
Vegan surfers. That's got to be it.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'm calling it.
Your dad was actually part avocado. So.
Oh, that explains it. Well, that means Olivia's also part avocado, I would imagine.
Good for her.
Wow. Hey guys, my name is Olivia and I come from a stereotypical Los Angeles family. Both of my parents are in the entertainment industry and have been divorced since I was born. Okay. I mean,
that'll do it.
My mom lived in WeHo and my dad has a place in Laurel Canyon. His house was right above the Canyon store and it was creepy AF. My dad doesn't know how to settle in a house, so he basically likes to buy them and flip them. I don't know why he picked this house, but I can tell you that I'm so glad he doesn't live there anymore. When they first started working on the house, my dad ended up finding a ceramic bird bath buried and broken into 3 pieces. Because my dad is psychotic, he decided to put the bird bath back together and display it outside.
That sounds like the most dad thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's like, I've got epoxy and some Gorilla Glue. Let's put this bad boy back together.
It's like, I don't see
a
where it's
perfectly
broken.
good bath, bird.
It was a bargain. I got it a long time ago. Why? It's not that broken.
Come on, it's perfectly good. My dad used to be a heavy... Oh, sorry, I forgot the line. This is where everything starts to get fucked up.
Okay.
My dad used to be a heavy smoker, so he'd often go to the backyard to smoke. One day when he went back, he saw a girl with long blonde hair, but he couldn't make out her face because she was basically in the woods. My dad thought she needed help, so he asked her if she needed anything, but she wouldn't respond. He got freaked out and went inside because he thought she might be a crazy woman. A few weeks went by, and one day when he got home,
What?
A few weeks went by, and one day when he got home, all of my baby dolls were sitting upright on the couch.
Bye.
He thought it was my uncle trying to prank him because my uncle had been helping out with all the construction. However, after that, every day, once he got back from work, the dolls would be back on the couch in the same position. He finally called my uncle and told him to stop because it was freaking him out. And my uncle said that he had no idea what he was talking about. Once my dad explained everything, my uncle told my dad that he had also seen a girl with long blonde hair.
Ugh.
My dad finally put 2 and 2 together and reburied the bird bath. After that, everything stopped. He also sold the house, smiley face.
Okay.
And this one ends with the end.
What an eclectic group of endings to this.
I know. I feel like everybody is like, so I'm just gonna back out of here. I don't know how else to leave.
I'm waiting for somebody to just end it with like Finn.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's how I end things.
Wow. Okay, so I guess don't unbury broken bird baths.
Well, I guess if you find something spooky buried in the ground, like don't take it upon yourself to trust that it's been buried there for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
it
maybe
wasn't.
let's not Gorilla Glue it back.
It wasn't buried there for you to unbury it. You know?
For a crafting project, you know.
Which is wild though, because I feel like I would see that and be like, and not think anything spooky about it. Like, why? I wonder why the girl was so attached to the bird bath. Maybe that was her favorite place or something.
Maybe it was like her bird bath and somebody shattered it.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm glad it was, after it was unleashed, it was releashed.
Unleashed.
So. Oh, well, thank you for your story. This one comes from Amanda. Here's something real crazy. It is.
I'm
I see.
looking at it too. I think
I
you
had
have
to scroll.
There's like a giant cat picture somewhere in there.
Yes. And a doll picture. Just so you know. I really hope I didn't just see PTD because I think I just did.
Well, one of the pictures, unless I'm... Oh, no, it just got split in the PDF.
PDFs are crazy.
PDFs are crazy.
Said the boomer in the room.
Hey, ready? What's the deal with PDFs, you know?
Hang on.
I literally didn't know what you were doing. I was like, what? Oh.
Is that or whatever?
No, it
the right one?
Wah, 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 which actually worked better.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Okay. So anyway, this one's from Amanda, and the subject line is, listeners episode. So Amanda is keeping it vague for us. Love that. And Amanda says, hello, and that's why we drink team, fam, and fluffy friends. Amanda, they, them pronouns, love a fellow they be. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. My favorite drink is Arnold Palmer.
And
we're
is
starting-
this you?
We're starting hot. I know. Am I Amanda?
Or
But out
cold?
of
Wink.
Out of
Wah, 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 wah. I need to eat food. I'm like so mad right now that I can't eat.
I feel like I said Arnold Palmer and you got like really triggered.
I did. Except I could probably have that, right?
No, that's definitely the color of dark tea
Shit.
and lemonade.
Damn it.
And how's your Sprite? Take a swig.
Actually, look what I got. It's Sprite Cherry, which I didn't know existed, but it's like clear flavor, or it's clear colored.
Remember Sprite Remix?
Sort of.
When we were kids, it was like there was like a purple one and a red one, but it was clear and it blew our minds.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what I like is that it's cherry flavor, but I feel like I'm tricking everyone because I love cherry and they're like, you can't have cherry. And I'm like, oh, can't I?
If you put that on a cup, a doctor would approve it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My favorite drink is Arnold Palmer, but out of the two, I would have to be Team Milkshake. Hey!
Yay.
Sorry, Team Wine, but I'm more of a hard liquor person. I don't know what you're apologizing for.
I was going to say, I mean, me too.
My partner introduced me to your show recently, so I'm very new, but I love these viewer episodes, and I forgot that I have a story of my own to share. It always makes me so sad that if they're just listening 340 episodes ago, like they're not going to know that they were chosen as a listener's episode.
I thought that too, but think about it. If their partner
is
the one who introduced it, maybe they'll be like, oh shit, like Amanda, your story, you know. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I hope so.
That's the hope that I tell myself.
To preface, my partner and I both love spooky shit, like really like spooky shit. Horror movies, animal bones, and other oddities. So my partner takes it a bit further. He has probably over 100 dolls that he has either purchased or had been given by friends and family.
I was on board until the dolls.
This is what people thought we wanted, which is why they started sending us dolls at some point. Remember that?
That's true. And I did kind of keep them for a while. So
we were accidentally building a
cousin
collection.
Brandon from earlier.
You were Amanda's partner.
Yeah.
7 of these dolls, there's over 100, as Amanda says, 7 of them are haunted. Honestly, those stats are low compared to what I was expecting.
Agreed.
I thought 97 would be haunted.
7%, like that's pretty low. I'll take my chances.
I have a feeling you'd want to see, so I attached a picture of them all. Okay, that's what that was.
Oh, is that the one? Can I go look?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any spoilers. Let me see.
I don't know if I'm where you are. I don't know if a spoiler's coming.
I know. You know how sometimes you used to yell at me because I would read along. This was way back in the day. I don't do that anymore. But whoa. Oh, I mean, beautiful. I'm gonna just change the subject. Change the
super
picture.
not haunted at all.
Mm-mm.
The haunted dolls were purchased through eBay, if I'm not mistaken, and he likes to do this. He likes to do it this way because they usually give a description about what kinds of things the spirit likes and what activity the owners had been experiencing. Each doll has an interesting story, personality.
It's like Tinder for dolls. Like it's like, loves attention but needs a little bit of like alone time. Or it's Pet Finder maybe, like Pet Finder, like good with kids.
I feel like let's TM this, but like, why don't we create a haunted doll Tinder where like collectors can go look and swipe around and see and purchase?
Now we're talking. Because you know why? Because we would have to be the ones to be acquiring all of these items. You realize that, right?
No. We would be like a third party to eBay or something.
We're like the Silicon Valley type, and someone else has to do all the like legwork. Yeah. We just.
I'm so lucky. You're so lucky. I don't know how to code because the things I would get us into would be crazy.
I like kind of do, but I have some secret things that I've been waiting to reveal to you, but I shouldn't have said that.
What do you know?
It's been like a year, 2-3 years in the making, so. But
what do you know?
I don't know anything.
Did you learn how to code, Christine?
Oh, I know how to code. Yeah, I took coding courses in college, and
So what else is there? What's coming out of this? What do you?
I've made a few things.
Oh my God!
I just never knew what to do with them, so they're kind of sitting in limbo, waiting for their right moment.
Is this the right moment?
I will say no, not yet.
Okay, well, let me know when it gets here.
I just like to strike a little tinge of fear in your heart every now and then.
She's there, I promise, at 100% capacity. Okay, well, moving on having learned nothing and a lot all at the same time from that experience. um, eBay, right. And then we do the Tinder thing. Okay. Each doll has an interesting story, personality, characteristics, likes and dislikes, just like anyone else, really. They are currently displayed on a bookshelf in one of the basement bedrooms because they do not like being kept in boxes.
Okay.
Don't put baby in a box.
That's exactly right.
When we moved into this house, we did not yet have a bookshelf for them, and they let us know that they were not pleased. I feel
they let us know.
I feel like that's just, you're just signing up for like a toxic environment. For like, you're not even dating this person or something, but they're like, well, first things first before you do anything else. It's like a roommate. House.
Yeah, it's like a roommate who's not paying the rent, and you're like, oh, you have so many demands.
Yes, exactly. I can imagine it was a lot of energy cramped into one box originally, and the activity was physically harmless, just startling. Great. My partner had a tube of chapstick thrown at him. We heard the sound of broken glass one night, and we were unable to find any kind of source. And when I was walking up the stairs, they made it sound like someone was actually falling down on them. I didn't hear it, however, despite being right there. So I guess their partner heard it.
Yeah.
It's fair to say
that's scary too, to think like, oh, you hear it crashing and you're like, oh my God, did you fall down the stairs? And they're like on the stairs like, what? No. But that's terrifying.
There's nothing scarier. Well, I'm sure there's scarier things, but there's nothing.
Finish the sentence.
There's nothing scarier to me when two people are in a room and only one is experiencing the thing.
Oh, that is really scary, because at least you have the validation and the like, we're in this together. Otherwise,
and think about the mind fuck of like, oh, so I like now both of you know that things could be happening around you that you're not even aware of.
True.
And that this thing is control. This thing can control beyond your own senses. So like then it spirals even more, and it's like, so if you're experiencing something, it's because it wants you to know.
Ew. And it's like specifically choosing you to witness it. But also, like, if I, for example, Harry, I'm not giving you any ideas here, but if I heard, like, if Leona were a little older and she were going up the stairs and I heard someone fall down the stairs, like, worst nightmare, you know?
Worst
and then you
nightmare.
Turn and it's like, she's fine. Like, that's really scary.
It's so scary. Yeah. Well, now I have always been completely fine with the dolls being around. Luckily, these kinds of things don't bother me. Wow, you're
must be nice.
My ability to see that as anything other than a red flag is like different than yours. Let's just put it there, because I'd be like, it's me or the dolls at this point.
For sure.
I've always been completely fine with it. I figured they weren't bad spirits. They were just a little salty about being kept in a box for a few weeks, and honestly valid. I wish that this first story were about any of these dolls, but it's not. Since my partner is an avid haunted doll collector, he's very sensitive to energies and objects with generally spooky vibes.
What if he wasn't? What if it was like he has zero, like he just has a wall there and he's like, I don't know, I just like how they look. And everyone else is like, you're ruining our lives with these dolls. He's like, what? I don't hear anything.
That would be the red flag, actually. That one is
I feel like that would be the only acceptable way to collect dolls, though. If you're like, they don't bother me. Like, if
yeah,
I don't know.
True.
I don't know. I see both sides of it.
I feel like if I went to somebody's house and they had a bunch of dolls that were obviously haunted, but they just denied it,
that's
like,
true. That's true.
Like, this person is crackers.
Be like, yeah, crackers. You are delusional, is what I would
be like,
think.
at least admit it.
At least admit it.
Unless maybe they're trying to like not scare me, so they're like telling a fib. But then you've got to like, what if they know that they're haunted and they're trying to like be coy about it, so they say they're not haunted, and now the haunted dolls are mad at you for not acknowledging that they're haunted
suddenly
publicly.
You're falling down the stairs, and that's how we got here.
Exactly. Well, apparently, while thrifting one day, a seemingly random doll stuck out to my partner on the shelf. He said that it was like the doll was reaching out to him. Please. Please be for real. Like if I ever felt something reaching out to me and it had a face, I would be like, no.
You'd be like, push away.
It's like, I'm glad you're reaching out. I'm going. This is a fun dance we're doing. I'm going into another aisle. All I could tell about the doll was that it looked pretty cute, had big eyes, and he wanted it, so it came home with us. Little did we know what was in store for us in the short 2 weeks that we had this doll. Yep. Before we get to the good, oh great, I think it's important to add that we are both desensitized to spooky things, so it did take a while for us to put the pieces together about what was going on. I like how you prefaced it because my first response was going to be, are you kidding me?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Because I assume everything's a ghost, so if Allison sneezes, I'm like, oh my god, a ghost.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, so I am the opposite of you. I would already be running. For the 2 weeks that we had the doll, we noticed that my cat, also pictured because I love him, was coughing a lot. See, Allison sneezing, cat coughing. I told you.
It's one and the same.
We thought that it was maybe just dust or dirt bugging him since he goes outside sometimes. We took him to the vet, of course, and they gave him some medicine thinking that he had a kitty cold or possibly asthma. He did better on the medicine and we didn't think much else of it. My bedroom is right above the doll room, and I was starting to notice that I was having heart palpitations pretty frequently, combined with a general chest pain every once in a while. My partner and I were discussing some of these things and thought that it might be the doll's energy not loving being around other dolls. So we agreed that we would have our witchy friend come and sage the doll and the house in a few days. The same night I went to bed, and at around 2 to 3 in the morning, I woke up and saw a shadowy figure standing in the doorway of my room.
No.
My sleepy brain thought that it was just my partner coming to say goodnight or checking on me, and I didn't think much of it until the next morning. I got up with some chest pain and bad mental energy. I would think it was finally starting to get to me. When I was putting on my shoes, I heard a thud beneath me in the doll room. I may be an idiot, but I'm no idiot. Okay.
Wait, that's the best line. Put that on a shirt.
You need to put that on your Cricut.
I'm literally like, somebody give me a design. I need to put that somewhere.
I may be an idiot, but I'm no idiot. So
that's beautiful.
So I did not go check this thud. When my partner got up, I told him what happened, and apparently he had his own run-in with the doll that night. He was putting away some laundry when I went to bed, and when he came into the living room, he could hear something like a metal table violently shaking.
Ugh.
He's a badass, so he screamed, "If you don't cut this shit out, I'm going to destroy your vessel."
Whoa!
And the shaking stopped.
What a spooky thing to say.
That's exactly what a fucking, wizard would say.
I mean, literally, I will destroy the vessel upon which you came. I mean, Jesus, what a alarming thing to say, but also probably very effective.
That kind of sentence is what Zach Bagans thinks he's saying every time.
Okay, I was going to say, I almost thought it was a Zach Bagans thing, and then I was like, I don't think you could come up with that on the spot, though.
Does he know the word vessel? I don't...
Is this a vessel? I've definitely heard him say it, but it might have been written by somebody else. I'm not really sure.
He's only said it in some spooky poetic way about that episode where a horse was pooping in the carriage or something. Okay.
Yeah, I love that episode. Where he's like, oh, look. It's like, okay, it's horse shit. Oh my God.
So anyway, your partner's a real badass. Got it.
Seriously.
Okay. And the table stopped shaking. We talked about the doll, and my partner decided that this doll would do better at the Museum of Shadows. What?
Oh, sure.
A haunted object museum in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay, so now I know where we're
down,
going
Eva.
next.
We got a road trip plan.
By the way, 3 minutes ago, I was talking about how I'd run in the opposite direction, and now I'm like, we have to go to Omaha.
Now we're let's get in the car immediately. We'll stop at Hell's House on the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess the drive down there with the doll was not a smooth one, but now they have her and she is out of our lives. Witchy friends still came and brought us sage and all kinds of protection jars. And for a palate cleanser, I'll give you a funny spooky story. One of the dolls, named Melanie, likes to fuck with technology. So she is the one housed in a glass box with twinkle lights in it.
Okay, kind of adorable.
Precious. She has to be so happy about that.
Against my better judgment, I kind of love it.
I absolutely love it. She can play with the lights to her heart's delight. And well, one night we had some friends over and one of them got absolutely obliterated. He's Team Peppermint Schnapps.
Oh, whoa. That is a rough night for them. And probably, imagine the puke the next day. Oh, that's got to burn.
I gave him my room, which again is above the doll room. We went to bed somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, and what we didn't know was that Melanie's lights ran out of batteries. Some of the dolls communicate through dreams. Oh my God. So what we think happened is she snuck into this poor drunk person's mind, made him get out of bed, walk down past a baby gate we have for the cats, and into the doll room just to turn on the main light.
Up.
Because we have a video camera in that room that picks up motion and sound, and all you see on the camera is them peeking into the room just long enough to flick on the light, and then a moment later you hear them say, "What am I doing downstairs?"
I love that they were like, peppermint schnapps. That does the trick. Now I can enter the mind and soul of this person.
Melanie,
it's the kryptonite, you know?
Melanie sounds like she might also like peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that again, we've Irish goodbyed here on the letter.
Oh
so
my gosh, you
it.
guys. Are you all okay? Like, it's worrisome because they're all about dolls. And I'm like, somebody just tell me you're okay.
Can you imagine if all of these people didn't actually write us at all, and in the middle of the night, all their dolls just started typing on keyboards, sending in their own stories to us?
No, it's like anyone at their house who drank way too much peppermint schnapps, like, got on and started. Why am I on their computer?
I'm imagining Melanie with a little bottle of schnapps, just like banging her plastic hands on her
Hang
keyboard,
on,
writing about her fairy lights.
Hear me out, Amanda. Maybe you need to give her just a couple drops of some peppermint schnapps. See what happens.
Yeah. If she likes, well, never mind. I was gonna say if she likes lights, you should give her like a scented candle. And I'm like, no, don't leave fire by
maybe
a ghost.
don't put flames near the doll. But you know, it's a good effort.
Oh no, but you know what you should do? They have like those little tea lights that like they're electronic and they like change color. Oh, Melanie would eat that. Oh,
you could give her like a whole light show to control.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, at Christmas time, imagine the possibilities.
You should direct her towards the window on a night where there'll be fireworks. Oh, Melanie would lose her mind.
I wonder if this reminds me of like a Stranger Things thing. Like maybe she can communicate through the lights, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if you like do some like lucid dream work if you can just hang out with Melanie at a fireworks show.
Oh, how fun.
That'd be dope.
I mean, it seems like Melanie can fucking roam around and enter people's brains.
You know what?
So
Never
why
mind.
not?
Why is she even in a glass box?
Yeah.
Like, she's good.
Actually, I think Amanda thinks she's in a glass box, but like a lot of the time she's not. You know, she's roaming around.
Melanie, if you're listening, please don't enter my dreams.
We love that for you, though.
I
Melanie.
love your journey, but keep it over there. All right. Last story, I think.
It is. We have a 7th bonus here today. So this is from April.
Hi, April.
It says, so the subject is creepy doll on my property. April uses she, her pronouns. It says, hello, M. Christine and Eva. Longtime listener, first time write-in. I don't have a story, but more of a question. Uh-oh.
This is a first. Damn.
Yeah, this is a first. We can't promise any wisdom, but we'll try. A few months ago, while I was leaving my house on a walk with my son, who I also call Babu, shout out to sweet baby G. Okay, that's adorable. Babu. I noticed a small doll laying on the bright yellow fire hydrant that is outside my house along our road. Seems innocent enough, right? No. In my opinion, no.
So I just know more's coming, so like get to it.
Okay. Well, no. I have listened to plenty of your episodes and listener stories. That being said, I have built-in paranoia about dolls, especially ones that just show up randomly. Of course, I'm sure it was just placed there by another child on a walk, but why is it still there? It has been there for months, maybe even longer. I snapped a photo and sent it to my husband, joking about it, and he had seen it months prior and told me not to touch it, saying he was creeped out by it too. My son always points it out now, and I just distract him with something else or keep walking. My husband had a great idea to write to you guys to ask how I should get rid of this doll without getting haunted or receiving bad juju. Do I use tongs to pick it up? A broom to knock it over and sweep it into the street? Do I throw it away? I know how much you guys love talking about creepy children's toys and dolls, and I need your take on it. I've attached a picture of the doll in all capital letters. I love you guys so much, and I would binge listen to you more if my 3-year-old wasn't around so much. April. Okay, let me zoom in. Can you see this picture?
Kind of. It's small, much smaller than I thought it was going to be.
I can't really.
It's like it's a tiny little doll that can sit on the rim of a fire hydrant.
How do you? I can't zoom in. Let me try. I think maybe.
I don't know what its face looks like, but I get the gist. It's like a little miniature.
Is it like old-timey doll or is it like modern day doll?
It looks like it's a plastic kind of Barbie doll situation.
You know,
like
I
a
wonder,
Duplo.
okay, every time I see a Duplo, interesting. Every time I see something kind of like placed up high, like on a walking, like on a sidewalk, I usually assume, like this happens sometimes, like there will be like a mitten or a hat or a toy like on our fence, because I think if a kid drops it out of the stroller, like someone walking past will just pick it up and put it like
right
out of the sidewalk. So I'm wondering if that's what it is, but it is a little weird that not one single person has felt comfortable moving it for
it's
months.
Odd that a whole neighborhood sees that thing there, and either they're all giving like it takes a village energy, and they're like, oh, we'll leave it for the person who kept it there, and just having like the best honor code I've ever seen a neighborhood handle, or everyone's freaked out, which is also hysterical.
Which is bad news.
I think it's like kind of like funny in a fascinating way of like, how is everyone getting this kind of vibe from this, you know?
Yeah, even the husband was like, just don't touch that. Like they were like, oh, I'll send you a joking photo, and then they were like, don't touch that, I've seen it.
Is there, I mean, my first thought without touching it, I would leave a sign next to it or a letter and be like, does anyone know what this doll's about? Like, I mean, I've made friends by leaving notes in the street. And so,
oh my Lord. Okay, but so like what would you write? Like let me have an example.
I mean, so if I were just trying to be as generic as possible, I'd be like, we've seen this doll for a while. Does this belong to anybody? Or is someone missing a doll? Or
wait, I know.
What?
Why don't you do a next door post?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. A ring, like on a Ring or Neighbors or whatever it is.
Yeah, like on Nextdoor, you can just post a photo of it and be like, hey, this has been here for a while, not sure. And then if nobody knows what it is, or maybe you'll get more intel, like maybe people will be like, I've seen that too, something creeps me out, you know? Then you can get like the consensus from the neighbors. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do. I mean, I love leaving a note. I feel like,
but like, where would you put? Like, what would you write? Like, text me. Would you write your address?
I mean, no. Your questions are all reasonable, but I'm talking from a place of like 3 a.m. I'm not thinking all the way through.
Oh,
like,
and I'm just asking like so that she can do what you're suggesting. Like, should she put like text me and like her number? You think, or like
I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. I'm telling you what I would do, and it would have not been fully thought out. I would leave a note as if I'm maybe the doll, and I'd be like, help, where am I supposed to be? Why am I here? And then it would have
just created even more drama.
I would just leave
chaos.
A pen for like more people to write on to continue writing on the paper, and it'd be a fun little back and forth. But realistically, I would just do what you said, just like reach out to as many people as possible, and like on an app.
And
or
then
like
if you have a Facebook neighborhood group and be like, hey, found this outside, does it belong to anyone or should I toss it, and then see what happens. And I would say, I don't know, if it's like super creepy and it really gives you bad vibes, like I just probably would leave it. Like I don't know, it's not your responsibility, I guess. I mean, I guess if you don't want your son to accidentally grab it, I can see why you might want to get rid of it, but
yeah, I mean, if you felt then compelled to get rid of it or something, I would just maybe I'd do like a proper little like funeral or burial or something, and like leave her with love and light. Like I would be like,
I would Google.
I'd sweep her into like a little shoebox or like a little Ziploc bag or something, and do like a proper like, we love you and you can leave now, you can move on, and I don't know. If you wanted to, but you also, like Christine said, this isn't your responsibility.
Yeah, I would say like don't feel like you have to unless you really want to. But also if it feels like I'm being compelled by a dark energy, then maybe just leave it. Maybe just leave it.
And I wonder if by putting so much energy into caring so much about this doll, that's giving it energy.
That's a great point, especially if everybody else is like, yeah, you seen that doll? It's creeping me out. And if your husband's like, oh, I saw that doll. Like, I don't know. I'm getting nervous about this doll now. Why does everybody have such a strong opinion about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird that so many people are freaked out.
Yeah. So let us know what happens. Let us know if you do post about it, because I am curious, like, what other people think or have said or feel
Make a
about it.
TikTok, maybe,
Oh, that's a good idea.
and just be like, this little girl, she is terrifying all of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
What do
if
we
you're
do with
wondering
her?
what we would do, we would try to make content out of it. So
I'd exploit it for sure.
Yeah. So, and then leave it with love and light. No.
Yeah. Do like a
That's what I-
blowing a kiss emoji at the end of the video. Yeah.
Yes, that is that. There we go. Just like, but all this was for her to have a nice, happy time
Yeah.
somewhere else, somewhere
exactly.
far, far away.
Anyway, that's our first Q&A we've ever done here.
Wow, what a delight!
Was
I feel
it
like,
fun for you?
It was fun for me, but I don't think that they got any good answer. Well, I mean, maybe they did, but
I mean,
I feel like they went to the wrong place asking for genuine advice. I think
Especially-
we probably
especially because neither of us are experts when it comes to like what a proper ritual would be if you actually felt like this thing had something attached to it. So
exactly. That's exactly it. So maybe, Google it, but that's where I stand with it.
anyway, good way to end
Cool.
this. Doing
We
something
did it.
new for August.
Wow.
Christine. So next time we hear some stories from us, it will be September. But thank you everyone who submitted stories, and
Yeah.
thank you to Eva and Katie for like finding a theme through all of this.
Curating them.
Love a doll story. And with that, I guess, what do? We just see you next month, I guess, everyone.
I think we see you next month. I go drink my Sprite and cry, and
Just think the next time we're recording a listener's episode, this will all be done. You don't have to worry about it anymore for a while.
I'll be snacking away, but don't worry, I'll mute my mic, folks. I know it
feel like
bothers
you should, for September, bring a real fancy drink that's just caked in red dye.
just bring. Oh my god, I'll bring my cherry Sprite, but I'll just put red
Yeah.
food dye in it just to make it like feel more
Exactly.
exciting.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week or Sunday or whenever you hear us next. And
That's
why
we
drink?